What's going on, everybody on YouTube? Steve here, Raiken Profit. Welcome to another Green Room show. Tonight we got a powerhouse panel with us. We've got Luke with Endless Entrepreneurs. What's going on, Luke? We got Casey with Rockstar Flipper in the house. Put his name right behind him. I like that. And then we have the Bonafide Hustler, my partner in crime. So, yeah, why doesn't everybody introduce themselves? We'll start off with my main man, Bonafide. Who are you? What do you do? And then we'll go down the line and get into the show.
What's up, guys? I'm the Bonafide Hustler on YouTube. I flip stuff I find from garage sales, estate sales, flea markets, pawn shops, swap meets. I put it on places like eBay, Amazon, Craigslist, my antique booth, and consignment stores in town. I am one of the co-owners of the Green Room University. Go check it out. First or second link down below. Really excited to go through this show so we can see what it takes to make $100K on eBay a year. I'll toss it over to Rockstar Flipper Casey. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, Chris? Bonafide. Great to be back with Steve and Chris and Luke, of course. It's been a little while. So I am the Rockstar Flipper. You guys can see it right above me. I buy mostly from thrift stores, Goodwill, Salvation Armies, and pawn shops. And I sell majority on eBay with a little bit of Amazon mixed in. And appreciate you guys having me back. Thank you.
All right. So what's up, Luke? Endless Entrepreneurs. You joined in November on YouTube, right?
Yep, not too long ago, joined on YouTube. I am a part-time eBay seller, unlike some of the full-time resellers we have here. I work full-time as a corporate finance analyst, my normal canned intro, and I specialize in selling men's clothing, mostly sourced from Goodwills, Salvation Armies, and occasionally some independent thrift stores. So yeah,
cool.
That about does it.
When you're doing your job, do you find yourself thinking about the hustle ever?
It depends who's watching right now. No, yeah, of course.
Okay.
More than I like to admit.
Okay, cool, man. So that's our panel for tonight. Of course, we have Mr. Raiken right here. We're on Raiken Profits channel. So do us a favor, hit the like button. It's going to be a great show. We will go right into the Raiken. This is one hell of an outline you have made here, man. This is
it was tough, man. When you get a bunch of hustlers on one panel, man, it's tough to figure out what questions to ask. But I mean, we're going to do the best we can to answer your questions. We're also going to open up the feed as well to answer your guys' questions. So let's jump into it, Chris. What do we got starting off for tonight?
All right, let's start with Casey real quick, and then we'll proceed on to Endless Entrepreneurs. But is it possible to sell $100K per year on eBay for the average person, and what time commitment does it take? Casey, lead it off with that one.
Yeah, I get to start. Yeah, so $100,000 for the average eBay seller or a part-time eBay seller takes a hustle. Like, there's no other word for it. Even Luke being, if you guys have followed Luke's journey as a part-time seller, is, reaching for that 100,000, and not many are going to do it part-time. But if you're full-time, you take the dive. Yeah, of course, it can be done. Absolutely. I believe it's going to take you 8 to 10 hours a day to hit that number for the average person. Doing it part-time, difficult, very difficult. And Luke, you can attest to that, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're talking about 100K gross, right?
Correct.
100K gross, right? Just like a normal job, like you would just, you make 100K, you're gonna pay some taxes and all that kind of stuff, and then you walk away with, 60 or 70, depending on your tax bracket. So 100K is what we're talking about here, or more. Luke, what do you? I mean, you're part-time, you said, right?
Yeah, part-time. I mean, work full-time hours at the business, like Casey's referring, kind of alluding to there. But yeah, I mean, part-time for the essence, I have a full-time job. I'm gonna kind of answer a little uniquely, and I know I don't want to give away too much of the outline because Steve has a great outline here, but I mean, when you say sell 100K gross on eBay, I think that there can be a lot of definitions to that. I mean, I could sell 10 items for 10K a piece and only make $100 on each. So, I mean, I'm glad that we're kind of diving into that a bit, but from the perspective of what I sell, and I'll speak to that because that's what I have experience in, is selling clothing. It's definitely a big hustle. I think it's very possible, especially where I live in Charlotte, to sell $100,000 of used clothing. And then, debating what that margin is and what you take home, like you referenced, Bonafide, is obviously there's a lot to be said there. But I think it's definitely possible. It requires a lot of work. I mean, I'm up at 4:30 a.m. every day, grinding out all my days off my weekends. So
yeah,
that's kind of.
And real quick, because people that are watching this right now might be going, oh my gosh, like this sounds like two people that I haven't seen before on their show. You can follow Rockstar Flipper on YouTube. Okay, that's Casey, and you can follow Luke, who is Endless Entrepreneurs on YouTube as well. We will have links when the video is not live anymore, but go check out those two channels. You probably subscribed to Casey already, but Luke right here, definitely show him some love on his YouTube channel. So Casey, what's the biggest obstacle that you think most sellers face when attempting to scale their eBay business to the 6-figure mark? What do you think that is, Casey?
Time management. We just talked about the time, but time management, I believe, is the biggest thing. Whether it's part-time and trying to work around a job like Luke does, he just told you he gets up at 4:30 in the morning. So he's making the most of every hour of the day. And if you do go full-time, some people have to be focused and manage that time correctly to make sure they get through everything in the day. I believe in our Facebook group, the number one complaint is, how do I get more hours in a day? So the time management. And it's not about getting more hours in the day, it's making the most of each hour. So that's my answer to that, my short answer.
Okay. So yeah. And Luke, you have me beat by 30 minutes in the morning, just so you know. I wake up at 5, man. Oh, you got me beat.
But you're probably up later than I am, so
I'm getting irritated, bro. Okay, so let's talk about, what do you think the biggest obstacle you have right now? And it's good that Raiken picked these two people for the panel, because we have someone that's full-time, right? Casey, you have you and I want to say, is it fiance?
Fiance, yes.
Fiance, there you go. Fiance helping you out with the whole thing, right?
Right.
And workers, yes or no?
One part-time.
One part-time worker. And then Luke, let's talk about your kind of strategy. Who helps you in your hustle right now?
I help me in my hustle. That's
wow.
That's not all the capacity I have to bring someone on. I had 15 hours total of paid help this year. So that's
15 hours of paid help. Okay.
We can talk about it a bit later.
So what is your biggest obstacle now when you're trying to scale this business to 100K? What is yours?
My biggest obstacle right now, well, it was choosing the right business model. And I think that I kind of equate that as a blanket statement, especially as a part-timer, is making sure your model fits the scale that you want to get to, especially when it comes to picking what you source and making it worth your time. Because like Casey alluded to, you only have so many hours in the day. I only can list so many $15 items versus 30 versus 45. And so finding the model that fits my schedule to get to that highest price point possible, which will then maximize my hours in the day. So I mean, that's my biggest challenge right now. I'm trying everything I can to just keep diversifying and learning and growing that sale price so I can get there.
Right. Casey, would you think that in Luke's case, right? In Luke's case, do you think he has to really pay attention to a very high ASP, considering it's just Luke, part-time, trying to make it to 100K versus you, probably much lower ASP, right? And right. And first of all, define ASP for the people out there and shed your thoughts on Luke's versus yours.
Right. So ASP is average sale price per item. And me and Luke have talked about this probably several times, 2 or 3, about his average sale price is higher than mine. He's targeting certain items. He's being a little more picky. And I'm willing to pick up an item to make $6 or $8 profit for the volume because I have more man hours to dedicate to that. So my average sell price hovers, I think, at like $15.80 last time I looked. So I'm at like a $16. I don't know what Luke's at, but if I had to guess, it's $22, $24, Luke. So he's definitely being more selective.
Yeah, right around 25.
Around 25. Okay, so he's being more selective, but he has to be more selective because it's just him, and he's part-time, right? So you got to be really, really, really selective. Casey, like you said, you have your fiance and one part-time worker, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that opens the gates for a lot of things, right? A lot of possibilities.
So she's working 8 hours a day, so that's 40 hours during the week plus the part-time. I've got an extra 50 hours, 60 hours of man hours, so that makes gives me the ability to list an extra 20, 30, 40 items a day at least. So.
Amazing. Steve, you've been there before, right? And shed some light on having work versus not having work. What did it feel like? What's the difference that you know about right now?
Well, like Rockstar Flipper said, I mean, when you have somebody working for you, you can mess with those items that only make a couple dollars profit, $5, $6, $7 profit. And whereas, someone like Luke, if you don't have that work, you've got to, back to what Rockstar Flipper said about managing your time. At the end of the day, if you want to grow your business and scale your business, you're either going to have to sell something that's higher dollar and makes you more profit, or you're going to have to list more lower profit items. So if you don't have help, you're going to have to focus on that higher end item. And it's getting more and more challenging now, especially at like lower barrier to entry sourcing methods like thrifting, to find those items all the time on a consistent basis that make you 30, 40, $50. It's just the honest truth. Maybe it's different where you guys live. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
Right. Yeah. And for me, for example, like I am part-time eBay and I'm assisting with the green, and of course, working on the green room, working on my other stuff. And I think my ASP last time I checked was like somewhere in that 40, 50 range, but it has to be for the amount of time I put into the project. So ASP is a very important metric. I think I really like ASP as a general metric. And I think it should always be a quest to try to get your ASP as high as possible, right? No matter if you're following Rockstar's method or, you know, on Endless Entrepreneur's method, I think an ASP always try to get as high as possible. Casey, would you say that's semi-accurate, or are you always trying to get that thing? I mean, it's more profit in your pocket, right? Your ASP.
Right. Yeah. No, I would love to get rid of, you know, all the smaller items, but I take where we are, it's kind of more volume based. You don't find them as often. Luke's in a great position, and some other cities are as well, like people I talk to in LA or Portland or whatever. But, you know, I am always picky. Like today I picked up a couple shirts that are $30, $40, and I've been, you know, learning more and more. It comes down to adding more items to your list. You know, I keep that list right here in the phone. And I actually, when I list them with average prices of what I expect to get. Like $30, $40 items that goes in that column, and then $10 items. So, you know, I look for those first, and then I work my way down. Okay, cool. So is it best to niche down or go wide in terms of product sourcing, Luke? Is it wise? Let's kind of rephrase this. Is it wise to just focus on one tiny thing, like men's shoes or men's clothing, for example, right? Or is it more important to go broad with your time, Luke? What do you think?
So I hate using the word "it depends." I using "depends" at all, but it does depend on where you're at. If you're just starting, so like early in the year, I was very, very innately focused on men's clothing only. So like in just a couple niches, getting really deep in it, finding the maximum profit in it. And then as the year has gone on, as I've looked to continue to scale, to get that average sell price we keep referencing up, I've had to learn other niches so that I'm expanding my opportunity, casting a wider net, not spending as much time in the stores with all the lower dollar ones, and just, you know, being able to cherry pick sometimes in different sections some higher value items. So I think that starting deep is a great strategy, but once you start to scale, you have to go wider. You just have to have that bigger opportunity to find more lucrative items. And also it allows you to keep your costs down, which I think we keep talking about average sell price, but also like scaling your average sell price while keeping your buy costs the same. Like that's how you're going to widen that margin. So I think that
one thing I like to say too is a lot of people think that like clothing like is just a niche, and it is. Like it is a niche, but you can niche down within that niche like pretty wide, right? Like just with clothing alone, you know, there's blazers, sport coats, jeans, button fronts, like the list goes on and on. You go ties, hats, like all these different accessories. So like for me, getting my average sales price up is definitely helped niching down within a niche as well. Like the same thing, Chris, with like bicycles, right? Like flipping bikes on Craigslist.
That's where I started. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can niche down.
Yes. I started really narrow now, and now I'm like super, super wide. And here, Casey, this is a little icebreaker thing for you right here. Is it niche or is it niche, bro? Tell me right now. Tell us, Casey. This is the official call.
This is your moment, man.
This is it, dude. Don't mess this up. Please don't mess this up with your cattails in the background or whatever those things are. Don't mess this up, dude.
It's niche market.
Niche. Oh, okay.
Wait,
is Casey right? Niche like itch, or is it niche like
it's
sheesh?
Niche, man.
Ooh, we're gonna put it out to the feed here, man. We have 273 people watching right now. I haven't even looked at it. Holy crap, that's crazy. So you guys are bringing the heat. Thank you very much.
Wait, do we have the official Google Wikipedia pronunciation?
No, that's the whole thing. It's not about the Google thing, man. It's about what people say. You know, it's what people say. See, itch, niche. Okay, so we'll see. Casey
niche
is right.
for suckers, man. Anyone who says niche, get out of this channel right now.
Raiken, I have to say, a lot of these people in here are saying itch like itch, niche like itch. Casey is right. Ooh. Casey, this is good. Casey, the reason why this is an important kind of thing to determine right now is because you're speaking in a couple of engagements this year, right?
Yes, I am too.
So you better get this thing right, dude. You have to have this thing down. Or
wait, I can't mess up niche on stage.
Yeah, dude. I'm talking about a laughing audience. You better be careful, man. It's niche. Okay.
I've heard it to be 200 to 1.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Well, it was pure curiosity. I like saying them both ways, honestly. Okay, so let's go into the average ROI in your business on selling on eBay. Now, look, guys, we have some complete newbies probably in the feed. Luke, tell people what ROI is. Let's get it down to the basics real quick. Why does ROI matter to you when you're trying to make $100K a year?
So ROI is the return on your investment. So the amount of capital dollars or the amount of dollars I spend on inventory coming into my business what dollars do I return from that into my pocket? So that's my definition of ROI. When I talk about it in finance, that's how we talk about it. I mean, you could talk about ROI in gross or net. I like to talk about a net dollars in my pocket. So for me, it's critically important because you don't want to just set a dollar goal to sell on eBay. You want to set a profit goal. So understanding what return you're going to get on your dollars matters a lot. So, for me, that's what I measure everything on. I have a minimum profit I want to make, percentage wise, and then I have the dollars that I want to sell for the year.
Okay. Raiken, if you could echo in, like, give it a kind of example of what he was talking about. Let's take it down to like $100. Let's take down to ROI 30%. Like, how would someone know if someone goes, oh, I made $40 on that $100 item? How would you ROI that out to the person?
Well, like, for example, if I spent $100, right, and I made like $40 on that $100, that's like a 40% ROI in my eyes, right? So I don't know how you guys do it. It's on profit at the end of the day. Like, I'm not minusing out taxes and like everything like that, but obviously I'm going to minus off like, my cost of goods, and usually the cost of goods is going to be the biggest expense, but I'm not minusing off like taxes and everything like that. So
right. I think most people are going to minus out the goods, the shipping, right? The fee.
Right. Yeah. The big fees.
Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. What's the average ROI on your business right now, Casey? If you don't mind.
I'm at 50% across them, like literally.
Dang,
50%.
bro, that's pretty good.
That's pre-tax, but yeah, I mean that's shipping, PayPal fees, eBay fees, cost of goods, the label, the envelope, the bubble wrap. Yeah, so pretty much 50%. I mean, if I buy something, I'm paying at the average on clothing, less than $2 an item usually. I'm buying Salvation Army $1, $2 items. I'm buying thrift store $2 items. I'm buying the Goodwill outlets 75 cents, $1. I'm buying, yard sale items for $1 and $2. So that's pretty much all my cost of goods. And, everything I'm selling at $15, $20 is, after fees and shipping, that's 30%. So, even on a $20 item, I'm netting 14 and paid $2 for it. So there's, $12 profit less the envelope and all that. So, I mean, really, you can easily make 50 to 60% doing it that way.
Yeah, it sounds like it, man. Luke, what about you with your business on eBay?
Yeah, I've been hovering between 45 and 50% month over month. This summer has definitely taken a hit, and I don't know. I'd be interested to see with Casey. I know you said it's like 50, but like if it fluctuates throughout the year, because I've given away a little bit of margin in the summer months to get things rolling and keep it steady, knowing I'm going to make it up on the back half of the year when fourth quarter hits and being able to keep your prices higher and not run as big as sales. But yeah, right around like 45 to 50% is pretty standard. And I think that once you have your systems down, that's very achievable.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think this month's going to be down. I'm about to start giving stuff away.
Wow. Luke, real quick, if you could turn up your mic just a hair, I saw a couple comments in the feed. I can hear you perfectly fine, but I can kind of see. If you, I don't know. I mean, we'll see when the next time that you talk.
He's got a gentle voice,
I just got to talk a little louder. I got to.
I'm trying to protect it for the green room event because he's going to be screaming over there.
Oh man. Okay, so is it best to only sell on eBay, or is it better? Are there better options to diversify, such as like Amazon or Etsy? Like, why is eBay so important? Or are you considering like a shotgun approach? This is more to Luke right now, like, because I know, Casey, you're very diehard eBay, right? And you do a lot of Amazon as well, but like you found your roots in eBay, right?
Yeah,
Casey?
yeah, I'm 80-20 eBay.
Okay.
So.
Luke, you are how much eBay are you right now?
100% eBay.
100%. Okay, so
100.
So, have you ever considered doing the shotgun thing where you put items on different places? Because sometimes eBay is not exactly the right place for everything to move,
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I've considered a lot of the platforms. I used to sell Amazon FBA. I'm familiar with that platform. Also semi-familiar with like Poshmark and things like that. I haven't actually sold on there, but I know the concept and, the fees and the things associated with it. For me, it's just because I'm part-time, it comes to scale. And so it's easier to scale having one platform, one system, one inventory system. I'm tracking something through one life cycle. And so it's just easier for me. If I was full-time, I think I would definitely branch out, try to leverage multiple platforms, would probably have help if I was full-time. But as a one-man show, it's easier to keep inventory one way, to source one way, to list one way, and to streamline as much as possible to get out of the day. So I don't think there's anything against diversifying, but for me, it's just not a good fit yet.
And eBay is really easy, guys. Like that's one of the things. Like whoever's going to watch this show later on, like eBay is not a hard app or site to mess with. Like it's super easy. I banged out like what did I bang out today? Like 6 listings in like 10 minutes, maybe. Like it was so fast. It's just there's a method to the madness. I mean, there are ways, right? Casey, like there are ways to optimize your time with eBay. If you just know what you're doing, sell similar buttons, templates, right? You know what I'm talking about?
Right. Yeah. And that's what a lot of people do. They get a system that works, and it takes a couple weeks or a month or two to get it flowing. But once you do, there are people, and we see them, they sit down and do 50 listings in a couple hours. So
yeah, it's completely doable, but you have to, I think everyone has to have done the individual picture thing, the upload, the frustrations at some point, right? Everyone started with those individual uploads. It was so annoying, and all the clicking of all the random fields that you have to do. But when you start figuring out how streamlined it can get, you can start, really maximizing your time, your ASP especially, So anyways, let's talk about bulk buying, because this is something that's something that we don't talk about very much on either one of our channels. But let's talk about bulk buying, the business model and the experience that Luke has with your first attempt at bulk buying. Like, explain that out real quick.
Yeah, so jumped in the deep end about 2 months ago. Had no idea what I was doing.
All right, what is bulk buying real quick for the people out there? Explain that real quick.
Bulk buying is basically buying a large quantity of inventory. It can be the same type of item or multiple types of items, but all at once at an extremely discounted price usually. And the advantage is that you get it in one spot. You're not sourcing from individual stores. It usually gets delivered straight to you. And so you're taking a lot of the time element out of sourcing and having it delivered right to you in bulk. So in large quantities, just like you go to Sam's Club or Costco or in those places and buy in bulk, similar idea.
Okay, so this is coming from one company. Name like 3 companies out there that that do bulk stuff. Bulk.com, bulk, right? Bulk, BULQ, right? Isn't that one of them?
I don't know if I could name any. I mean,
bulk, bulk.com, BULQ.
Is that one of the big ones, Casey, that you know about?
Yeah, it's one of the bigger ones. Liquidations,
yeah.
liquidations.com. And then B-Stock is not an actual liquidation company, but they handle the logistics for some of the biggest companies in the country. Kohl's, GameStop, Best Buy, Radio Shack's bankruptcy. So they handle the logistics. They're basically a warehouse space, and you put the order through them, and then you can order from multiple stores.
Casey, have you ever done bulk buying? Yes or no?
Yes, many times.
What's been your biggest positive surprise with bulk buying? Is it everything that you expected it to be?
No, absolutely not. It's everything I expect it to be now. But until you order pallets or even one pallet and it shows up, you don't realize just what buying 2,000 of something at one time really means. Like until it shows up to your house, and I'm going to let Luke tell you exactly what he discovered, because he just did it, 2 months ago. And I've bought, back when Radio Shack first announced it was going out of business, I bought 4 pallets of electronics, and they just showed up in huge Gaylord boxes. It looked like somebody took their arm down the Radio Shack shelves and just dumped everything into a box, taped it all up, and mailed it to me. So
how tall was this stuff, Casey?
The Gaylords were 6 feet wide by like 4 feet.
Those are big.
Yeah, and they weighed 1,000 pounds.
What?
Yeah,
were those things at your house?
No, they came to the office, but they were on a pallet. The boxes were put on a pallet, obviously, then loaded, and then they they wrapped them.
Saran wrap it, right?
Saran wrapped them around, and then they weighed them, and they would be 980 pounds, 960 pounds, whatever it was, and then loaded up on the truck, and you'd get a bill for $450, $500 to ship it, and then I think I paid $1,600 or $1,800 for the 4 pallets to ship, on top of the $1,200 a pallet. Our total bill was like $8,000, and they just showed up, and all of a sudden you're the proud owner of 10,000 pieces of merchandise. And I think
the ROI on that, Casey? What was the ROI on the first one?
A lot. It took us a few months, but after about 60 days, we got the money back. And then after that, we sold those things for the next 12 months. We were selling stuff. Like a lot of it was Amazon, so it wasn't a ton of work. It was scan it and ship it, But remember, these had been dumped in, so I would find like, oh, hey, this is an HDMI 20-foot cable. Can you dig through and get me all the 20-foot HDMI cables to mail to Amazon?
Right.
So yeah, we had to sit and just dump it out and start sorting stuff. I mean, it's overwhelming, I think is the best word, but profitable. We've done 10 times the money on that lot. So
okay, Luke, shed some light on this overwhelming pallet situation. Let's talk about your first time doing this.
Yeah, so first time doing it, everything went wrong that could have went wrong. The delivery was delayed. Using whatever delivery service that they used, they told me it was going to be delivered one day. I called, never showed up. Took a half a day off work, never showed up. Call is going to be there the next day. Took another half day off work, never showed up. Ended up getting it about 7 days after they said I was going to get it. Granted, I had priced the shipping into the deal when I negotiated, so it was an all-in price per piece, $1.15 per pair. This was 3,000 pair of new without tags LL Bean pants.
Wait, how much?
3,000.
Okay, you have 3,000 pants coming to your house?
Yes. Pants. Yes. Yep.
Do you have 3,000 padded poly mailers ready? Like, do you have everything like ready to go, or what's going on through your head? Like when you pull the trigger on 3,000 pairs of pants, man.
Well, it just seemed like a great idea at the time. I still feel like it's a good idea.
It was a late night.
It was a late, yeah. It was like a week of negotiation. Got a referral for it, and thought I was looking for opportunity to scale for the back half of the year. And I knew summer months were kind of slow, and I was like, what can I do in the next 2 months to leverage fourth quarter? And to me, it was a long play to stock up on some. To me, and a lot of them were new with tags. There's probably like 25% were new with tags. The rest were new without tags. So it was. I had no idea what I was doing, but I'm like, I'd rather learn right now. I'd rather learn right now while I have the time to learn before it gets to that crazy part of the year. So yeah, it was late delivered. When it finally got delivered, I didn't have a pallet jack. So I bribed the driver to use his pallet jack. He helped me get him in. I had Jason from Prop Sales there to help me out and push him into the garage. Two of the pallets broke while trying to get it up over the edge of my garage. So we had to physically like jack it up and slide it without the pallet jack once we got it up over. So that was just an experience by itself. Then when you realize that your one-car garage that you thought had tons of space and you cleaned out, you literally had a 6x6 square foot space to work in to break down the pallets. You realize you couldn't sort all of them to get them to like items. So I did one box at a time for the first pallet and a half, which was not efficient at all. And the pallets were, I think, referencing size, mine were about 6 feet tall. So they were about as tall as I was looking at, like eye to eye at the top. There was 4 of them. So it was quite the sight. Shannon, my fiance, was not very happy with me. She was on the fence when I bought it.
Man.
She was really not happy when she didn't have her gym in the garage any longer. So that it was, but yeah, so all in all though, I think it was a fantastic buy. I mean, I've got all but like 400 to 500 pair that are just multi-quantity listings to add to it. It's all processed pretty much. I have a full 10 by 20 storage unit to house it. That was the one thing I did right, was I got that ahead of time. So I had a place as I processed to just get it the heck out of my house to where it's stored. But at $1.15 a pair, I mean, it was like you couldn't really lose. And I found out later from a couple people that bulk buy pretty regularly. I overpaid by about 200%. So that was always cool to figure out later that you thought you negotiated well, but you really negotiated very poorly. So still,
will you be doing it again? You think you'll do it again?
Yes. I'm actually negotiating with the same guy who I got it from for a second bulk buy, hopefully for August, so middle to end of August.
Same. You're gonna have some more LL Bean pants,
no,
like
so
all up in your garage,
this is
or
going
what?
to be an assortment of like blazers, some suits, and some more niche type items that I really like. Some higher ASP items.
Somebody's been reading Blazing Profits.
That's interesting. I didn't know you were going after that. That's interesting.
Yeah. So
that's not surprising to me, but I'm really interested to see how that comes out.
Yeah, it's a smaller quantity. So I learned my lesson. 3,000. 4 pallets is too much. I think 2 pallets is perfect. When I do it again, I won't go over 2 pallets unless I had a bigger garage.
So like you're saying for a one-man operation, like 1,500 pieces is probably the cutoff?
I feel like that's a good number to not get discouraged and to be
A
able
lot
to
of items. If people don't realize like how many items, like
Yeah.
1,000 items is like 15. That's a lot of clothing.
I'm
I
too
was
busy for
privileged.
months, man.
Yeah, I was privileged because they sorted it ahead of time. So the boxes were like items. Typically when you bulk buy, that doesn't happen. You just get what you get. So I was very, very lucky with that process. And that's why I'm actually happy working with the same guy, because I know it's going to come the same way. So like that was another big benefit that I don't think people think. Like I wasn't even thinking about it. And when it came, I was like, oh crap, I'm really glad that's the way it was. Because as I started talking to other people, they're like, no, normally, like Casey was referencing, it doesn't come in any sequential order or rhyme or reason. So normally it'd have, each box might have one of the same pair, and I have to put them all together to one listing. So I was really, really lucky with that.
Cool.
Can I interrupt with a
yeah, go
question
ahead, man.
before I forget?
Go for it.
and Luke answered this better than me, but the manifest. Do you want to talk about the manifest of buying bulk? Because I've seen it in the comments, but so important, like getting the list. Tell it. Well, just tell them what a manifest is, and tell them what you got, and I'll tell them how mine came.
So my manifest, if that's what you want to call it, was really, it was just like a printed out sheet of the quantity of items that I had, but it was very vague. It was like beige dress pants women's, like they didn't even break it out by size or anything. So it was actually very under detailed. But when I bought it, I had a detailed list on the site that he posted, which is so ironic because it was more.
So wait, you
detailed
get a manifest after you buy it? Shouldn't you get the manifest before?
So I had, yeah, good point. So I had emailed in the listing to me of what everything was with the pictures associated with it. Basically, the person who sold to me, they bought in bulk. They had 4 pallets they didn't want to deal with, and so they sold them to me. So this wasn't something they do on a regular. It's not like a big bulk buyer. And that's why when you guys said, what sites can you name? I'm like, I don't know. I worked through someone who, hooked me up with a couple of pallets they didn't want to deal with. So it's a much different experience than, working through a website or something like that that's going to be official. So that's why I said quote unquote manifest. I mean, there really wasn't a lot to it other than this is what you're going to get. And I paid through PayPal to kind of insure myself because I obviously didn't know the person from anyone else.
Okay.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Oh, so this is certainly one of the ways that you can make, money out there regarding eBay. If you're in a tough situation or you have a rough set of months coming up where the sourcing is going to be kind of tight, right? You can resort to bulk buying, is what you guys are saying. And the manifest thing that they're talking about is basically it's showing you what's going to come in the order even before you negotiate it or whatever, right? You see what's kind of in the order. And Rockstar is going to tell us about his electronics manifest here. And what went on through your head when you first saw this manifest? You're automatically probably thinking, what can I start selling quickly, right?
Right.
Like
so
that, right?
Yeah, I got very lucky because I bought from Radio Shack, and I didn't buy directly from the company, but they have somebody that handles their liquidations. And they sent a manifest that was so detailed it had the UPC and the SKUs.
Oh wow!
And the quantity, and it was it said shelf return, store return, customer return. So most of it, 75-80% was unopened. A lot of it was unopened, and then the ones that were opened, and some of it is, of course, with buying, 10% is junk. Like it would be a webcam that they had opened and there was no cables with it. There was no way to plug it in. There was no software. It was just the camera, which didn't mean it's completely worthless, but it's no longer a $30, $40, $50 item. Now you're selling it to someone that just maybe wants the replacement camera for $20. But you take that into consideration when you're buying something. You go down and you price it for the worst case. Like, right. Hey, I'm getting 20 cameras. If all 20 are missing the cables and the software, they're worth $20. And then when they show up and 10 of them are unopened, score. And so that's how you kind of price. That's how I priced the manifest. And we spent a solid week, a Monday through a Friday, just going line item by line item of the ones we thought were the most valuable, trying to get a price on them to figure out if it was going to be worth $8,000 or $9,000. And as soon as we came up with the $8,000 or $9,000 and had only gone through I think it was 6 pages of a manifest, we were only through page 1. I was like, do it, like swing for it. And then,
so is the manifest something that you can do while you're watching TV, just relaxing and just checking SKUs, or are you really working hard at this thing, right? Yeah, you can just do it leisurely, right?
Right, yeah. So we were scanning. We had one scanner scanning for Amazon, and if it came up, we'd get a price. And I just had a little notepad. I was just right on the manifest, just and then if we needed to look it up on eBay, I'd look it up on eBay. Like, okay, high end 20, low end 10, and then I just mark it all up, and that was pretty much all there was to it.
All right. Huge shout outs to 2 people in the feed right now that have donated $5 through Super Chat. Terry Stone, thank you very much, and also Margaret Collier. Definitely a friend of ours from way back in the day.
What's up, guys?
I just messaged Margaret today. She won't be at the meetup, too bad. But she's been to like 3 of them. She's been to 2 of them. So she's been to meetups already. So she's definitely killing it with merch as well.
We're at the
channel.
What's up? Definitely check out her channel. She's killing it with merch, and she's got a lot of cool, just interesting videos about different topics and whatnot. So if you're looking to learn, definitely check her out. But we're at the halfway mark right now, so I wanted to make sure that if everyone's enjoying this video, to subscribe to the 3 guys down below. You guys are obviously subscribed to me already if you're not subscribed, but the Bonafide Hustler, subscribe to him. Rockstar Flipper, the guy in the middle right there with the Rockstar right behind him, and Endless Entrepreneurs, Luke. These guys are doing an awesome job, and I want to congratulate all these guys. Luke, you passed 5,000 subscribers, right?
Yep. Just recently.
You've only been in the game since November. That's crazy. Rockstar came on the scene, jumped on a rocket ship and just took his subscriber base into the atmosphere where the gods reside. So you've also got a Facebook group, right? Too, a free Facebook group.
Yep, free Facebook group. Just a place. I created it because a lot of people were asking questions like around the clock, and I'm only one guy, so I couldn't answer a lot of the questions all the time. Or I'd noticed that I had messages from days ago, so I'm like, hey, listen, pop on the Facebook group, throw a post up with your question or a picture of the item if you want to know if it's worth something or real. And there's members of our group somebody will respond to it. And we started this group in February. And with just me and one admin, Megan Reed, and you looked before I did. I think it's 36,000 or 37,000 members.
Dude, it's growing too fast. You can't keep up with it, man. It's like it's like the Amazon sales rank. You never know where it's going to be.
Yeah. I had to employ.
What'd be really funny, Raiken? Let me interject for 1 second. Because if he had like a local meetup, right? Casey does. He invites people. Oh, I show up to my meetup, and all 36,000 or 37,000 people show up, dude. That would be incredible.
He won't have any more because he's always late to them, right? I'm just playing. Did you see that video, Chris?
I didn't. Okay, someone refresh me. Casey, tell me what happened in the video.
So we had a meetup in Orlando, which was originally scheduled.
Who's we, first of all?
Oh, in the Facebook group for Central Florida members.
And who hosted it?
I did, and one of my
you're hosting your own meetup. Okay, and
well, it didn't start as a meetup. A couple people that I was familiar with in Orlando, which is only an hour from me, were like, "Hey, we should all sit down and have a lunch." It was like 5 people, so I'm like, "Sweet, let's have a lunch." And somehow I got posted on the group, and when I ended up being there were 65 people. So we had lunch for 65 at the Rainforest Cafe in downtown Disney Springs, and I was an hour and 20 minutes late due to a run-in. Did you see what I did there? A run-in on the road.
Is that where your car got nailed?
Yeah, some guy changed lanes right next to me and just bumped up against the car.
Did you know? Did you see it coming? And you're like, oh, crap.
Yeah, split second when it happened. Yeah, I there was nothing to do, but yeah, he did. He hit the mirror the hardest. He didn't hit the car very hard. But
you know what his license plate said? He said, it's niche.
It was deep niche.
You got niched all over his car.
Before we get into any more crazy talk, I do want to mention at the end of the show, if we hit 200 likes, I am going to give away the newest guide that my buddy Tino, the Soul Advisor, and myself put together recently. So if we hit 200 likes, we're going to give that out. It's a guide that pretty much teaches you what shoes to buy and sell on eBay. And my partner, he's done over 300,000 in the last 2 years selling primarily used shoes. So we put this guide together, and if we hit 200 likes, we're gonna choose a winner and give it away. And I'm gonna have either Luke or Rockstar. We might even give 2 away. Maybe Luke will pick a winner and Rockstar will pick a winner just randomly. So if we hit 200 likes, we'll do it. But yeah, let's get into the content, Chris. Where are you? Aren't we going to be talking about thrifting?
We're way over halfway. We're going to talk about thrifting right now. Thrifting in regards to making 100K on eBay. So let's talk about this strategy real quick. Casey, can you talk about your thrifting strategy at the bins and discuss the benefits of your sourcing strategy over traditional thrifting, which is just going to store to store to store?
Right. So there's 2 sides to this. One, even though I have the help, I'm still cognizant of my time management. And so the bins is one location with a constant flow of material, which is kind of, as opposed to driving around to a dozen stores that might be spaced out, and I'm in one place. So that is what my drawback to the bins, in addition to the pricing, but the time is so big to me. So that's number one. The number 2 reason why I really like the bins as opposed to thrift stores, and this is just for me recently, and it may not be anywhere else, but here in Florida, the prices have gone up and up and up, and stores have sale days. And so I'll go to the sale days, but then I have to fill the rest of the weekend with normal buying. So that's why I like to go, I'm volume based. So I need to get as much as I can in one place as quickly as I can. So that's my kind of thing about it.
What vehicle do you use, Casey, when you're going to the bins?
Recently I'm using a Infinity SUV, but normally I drive my car. It's a i8, a BMW i8 too.
Man, I drive that thing filled to the rafters, dude.
I have, yes. I have a picture of it when I bought my mannequins with all 4 mannequins stuffed in the back, leaning forward against the passenger seat, and like I had the windows rolled down because they were too long, so the heads were sticking out the passenger window.
Oh,
Driving
man.
4 mannequins home. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Dude.
Listen, it gets electric mode, so everybody was asking about expenses of us driving around thrifting and gas and all that. I can drive for like in one random day 50 to 100 miles on electric. So,
dang, man, that's pretty cool. You owe me a ride if I go down to Florida, man.
Come on down.
I want to see that
Please.
car. Okay,
We got good surfing.
What? No. Not East Coast, man. East Coast is not the greatest surfing, man. But we'll pretend like it is. Okay. So you were so we're talking about the thrifting strategy, the bins. Do you get notice of the bins? Is the bins dirty? Is it kind of like, because bins are different in different cities, right? And your bins, are they nice or?
I would put on a 1 to 10 based on everybody else's bins that I know about and I'm familiar with. I would put ours, the one that I go to, at a 7. There's another one across town that's like a 3.
Okay.
You can pretty much smell that bin before you pull in the parking lot.
Yikes, dude.
So I stay away from that one. So this is something that I hear a lot of people say, that they've got a bin, but it's terrible and it's dirty. And if you've got that problem, then absolutely, I recommend staying away. But yeah, I do get recognized. Months ago, all the people started recognizing me at first, and everyone said hi. Now everyone's pretty much got it out of their system. Every once in a while, somebody new will come in, but now everyone, is familiar with me. So we chat and we talk, but no one is like jumping up and down. I don't know why anyone jumps up and down anyway.
Have you signed any autographs for anybody ever?
Yes, multiple.
No way, really?
Yeah. Okay, so the first one I ever signed, somebody bought a shirt, an AC/DC shirt off eBay from me, and put in the message, "Please sign this before you ship it." And
but you're not even AC/DC. You're not even like the band, dude.
And I made them write a message back on eBay that said they would not open a not as described case for a marker being on the shirt.
You would do that. You smart.
So you signed an AC/DC shirt.
Right. I also
this doesn't make any sense.
I also signed a Sesame Street shirt for a child, for a teenage, a younger kid, and then I've signed numerous ones of my Rockstar shirts. I've signed those, and I signed a poster or picture or something at the bins for someone in person.
A picture of what?
I think it was like, it might have been like muscle cars or like some kind of dragster cars or something. Yeah, I think so.
Let's all go to Rockstar Flipper's store and buy something tonight. And ask
The person that has that picture watches YouTube all the time, so they may be in this chat. If that's you, please tell me. I can't recall who that was for.
Oh my gosh, I think lost it at dragster. When you said dragster, that was it. I lost it, man.
I think it was like some drag cars, like on a thing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
Oh, Rockstar Flipper, please sign my dragster picture. Oh, that's pretty cool, man. All right then. I mean, yeah. Luke, this is what you have to look forward to. All right. See, you make more videos, you can do things like this in real life, all right?
So how many have you signed, Chris?
What? Oh, I've signed books. I haven't signed anything else outside of books. Yeah, my actual book I've signed a couple times. Huh?
So you've signed stuff. So yeah.
I've signed stuff, but I can't mention it here.
Oh, got it.
So
we have the feeds
Tinder date
cracking up
doesn't
right now, by
count.
the way. The feed is cracking up on Casey's story. They're all like laughing their butts off.
Wait, are they?
Yeah, they really are. So traditional strategy for you, Luke, you still go thrifting. I mean, you're from Charlotte, you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Charlotte's got great thrifting, by the way. I've been there. Anyone that says Charlotte sucks is like, no way. Like, Charlotte's got great thrifting.
I would argue that we have the best retail thrifting in the country.
All right, that's it. Next person. No, that belongs to Austin, Texas. We all know that, man. Come on now.
Unfortunately,
overpriced in Austin.
For clothing, I can't speak to hard goods, but for clothing, everything's flatly priced. They don't mark up anything.
Austin is the worst place for clothing. At least where I go, it is just like jacked up like crazy, man.
I
It's
remember
like
the first time that Raiken came into town 4 years ago. The first time we went, he was big into clothing. His 101 had just come out or something like that, and he goes into Goodwill.
Full time,
like a
nobody
polo shirt's like
stopped me. I'm gonna take
$15.99.
over any store I walked in like, stop me. And what happened?
$15.99 polo shirts, and Raiken was like flipping out. He's like, "What?"
Man, did you? Well, he can't ever come to Florida because did you guys? I think I screenshotted on Instagram or something that button down for $19.99 with a whole line of them at Goodwill.
It's crazy,
How do they
man.
sell? I'm just curious. Like, I understand Austin, like they got money over there, and like there's a lot of people coming in and out. But like, you'll see, like, you ever go into like a raggedy thrift store, Luke, or like wherever, and like you see this shirt that's like not even worth like $9 on like eBay, and they have it for like $20. Like, how do those things move ever? Any guesses? Do people buy them?
I just think it's economics. It's like here in Charlotte, they can't keep up with the donations. The city's getting 20,000 new people every year, so they can't keep up with the people in the donations. So they price them low to move them out. Whereas you get to other markets where their donations aren't coming in as quickly, they start pricing higher to make sure they keep inventory and maximize it. That's my guess. I mean, it's just a hunch.
Charlotte's got a lot of rich people too, man. Don't fool yourself. I know that for a fact. It's a banking center. I mean, it's like the second largest banking center in the USA. You know the Brooks Brothers there, Raiken, by the way, in the mall. I think it's in a mall, but there's huge Brooks Brothers. There's a tailor in the back, man, like full blown like MTV Cribs looking thing. You go in there and like they're fitting you in the triple mirror looking thing, and that's at that Brooks Brothers. They have alterations and everything in the back. It's pretty cool.
Chris's knowledge overwhelms me.
Oh, I mean, my wife is from Charlotte, so and I like Brooks Brothers. I used to love wearing Brooks Brothers back in the day, but now I
know too much, man. I'm concerned.
I will sign your Brooks Brothers shirt. So let's talk about bread and butter kind of items, because clearly you have to get to this 100K and you're going to want to at least start with hustling items that you're very familiar with and try to repeat that as much as you can before you go wide. So with Luke, to start this one off, what are for your favorite items to buy, your bread and butter items? You're looking for these things every single day, Luke. What are they?
I'd say right now it's more jeans than anything else, just stocking up on those. Just your run-of-the-mill brands like Lucky Brand, Friend Men's, BKE, all the different lines within BKE. Find a lot of silver around here, a lot of silver jeans, tons of them I've been finding lately. So those are kind of the bread and butter stuff that I've evolved to. And then dress shirts. I mean, you talk about Brooks Brothers. I still sell those non-iron slim fit Brooks Brothers for $20 a piece pretty much all day long. So I find those everywhere here. We have a Brooks Brothers outlet like you referenced, and we have the store. So I would say those run-of-the-mill dress shirts and definitely the like middle-of-the-road jeans, those are $30 to $40 jeans. Do
you measure these things out to make sure that they're not shrunken or something's messed up with them, or no?
I can tell for the most part when I pick them up, and when you're talking about in the thrift store, you're talking about after.
Yeah, like you say, you pick up a Brooks Brothers shirt. If you're like, oh, it says 1734.35, let's say, right? Do you kind of know like, this kind of doesn't look like a 1734.35? Do you have a hunch now built up? Is this so bread and butter for you where you can kind of pick something up and go, it kind of looks smaller than it really is?
Yeah, and I don't run into that a whole lot around here. I mean, and I don't touch anything that looks like it's worn, really. I mean, if it's not in mint condition, especially in like the bread and butter stuff, I don't even touch it. So usually you can tell right away. The only time I ever run into that is with weird materials like wool, like wool will shrink or things like that. But I haven't had a lot of issues with dress shirts.
Boy, Raiken, isn't wool crazy? Wool is one of those things you must hold it up to light. You have to scan wool items.
I've picked up some Pendletons, and I'm like, wow, this is like a huge score, like a beautiful Sir Pendleton. Like, this is great and like beautiful condition. I get home and it's got like 13 flaws, and I'm like, how did I miss it? Because if you don't hold it up to the light, you will miss it. Same with cashmere too. You gotta be careful with cashmere.
Yeah, we don't have these lights in the store. You're like in the most drab thrift store. It's not a jewelry store. It's different. But I got to be honest. I just heard Luke say that he doesn't buy it if it looks like it was worn or like it was used or somebody breathed on it. The luxury of being picky because your city can't keep up with the demand is it's pretty good, I got to say.
Do they have bins in Charlotte, Luke?
We do. We have one bins, and actually it's really nice. I've been one time. I don't like the concept. I think it's a great place to thrift. I have nothing against it. It's just not for me. Like, I'm not gonna get in your personal space and fight you for a spot kind of person. So I just sit back there and let everyone feast. So I'm just kind of like, that's not really for me. There's not much left by the time I get in there. So
it's a crazy environment. I remember the first time I went to a bins, it was a couple years ago, and I went out with a fellow named Pickin' Profits. We had met up for a meetup, and he brought me to the bins, and I went there, and I had no clue what was going on. And like everyone's just kind of standing around the circle, and I'm like, oh wow, this is a pretty cool place. And it's like all of a sudden you see this big bin coming out, and like it's almost like Walking Dead. Like the zombies start taking off, and like you got to hold him back, and like people start coming out like, no zombie, you can't run, like you can't. I'm like, what's going on? There's all these rules, and like people are just like salivate and like just like about to go crazy. And then when they say go, it's just like a war zone. Like people are fighting. I had a video of it, and I'm like, holy crap, we're in the jungle right now. There's a war like it's insane. Like it is crazy. If you've never gone to the bins, go. But wear gloves.
Well,
yeah, the one here in Austin sounds like a tornado is going off. Like when they say go, it sounds like a tornado is ripping through the town, dude.
People are circling their prey, like looking for it.
It's unbelievable, the sound. It's so noisy. You were saying something, Luke. What's up?
I was just gonna say the one thing that's nice about bins, and because I don't want to knock them too bad, is that if you don't have a lot of capital, it's a great place to start. Like if you're trying to just get started and get your business off the ground, I think it's an awesome place to start. Once capital is not an issue, like for me here, retail is just so much easier. It's set up perfectly. I know what I'm looking for. I don't have to sift through things. So that's just, I don't think there's anything wrong with bins. It just doesn't fit my model at all.
I was just messing around too. I think it's a great model. I'm just being an idiot right now. But
it's pretty true what you said, so it's fine.
No, I don't know if it's like that everywhere though. To be honest,
it is. Yeah, I would prefer not to ever go in another outlet again. If you want my honest opinion, I love the idea of buying by a pound and paying that price and all that, but the fighting with people is just, it's overwhelming. Like I'm with, like our bins bring out racks. If you ever watch my stuff, they have like legit racks, and it's still the same thing. They say go, and the ladies like take their arms through the whole rack and pick up 30 hangers and walk off. So, but I would prefer to never go in there if I never had to. But our thrift stores have just jacked the prices up so high, it's gotten difficult around here.
It's happening over here in Connecticut too. Over at my local Savers, I made a video about this. You know, I remember 3-4 years ago, even 2 years ago, like a lot of the bread and butter button front shirts and just the things that are easier to get, like the jeans that Luke was talking about, whatnot. They used to be $4.99, $5.99, $6.99, and now like it's like tripled, man. I don't know if it's a trend going on all around America, but you've got to get creative now. Like if you want to hit that $100,000 mark, you've either got to be very smart and know your stuff and master your niche and be picking kind of like Luke is, or have a strategy in a sense to be able to get high volume, like with what Casey's doing with the bins. That's why I think what Casey's doing is phenomenal. But I think it's harder, and it's getting harder and harder. And I'd like to know your opinion, guys, to make $100,000 strictly with just thrifting, just from like regular thrift stores, not bins. Like I don't know. I think it's extremely challenging for the average person. I know we kind of talked about it before, but I think you've got to diversify and find some advantages for sourcing, kind of like bulk or the bins, or just your knowledge has got to be top of the game. What do you guys think about that? I know we touched on it a little bit, but
yeah, I mean, getting a good niche is tough. And going to all these thrift stores, even though I have a lot of them, there's a few niches that I'm really big in, and there's just not enough of those to support the numbers. Like even if I buy a couple of this and a couple of that and a couple of this, you still have to add on. I just picked it up. Like I've been buying a lot of Western shirts, these Eli Cattleman's. And
damn, that's a pretty good one, man. Why
I sold that
flash
one
the
before.
gold, dude? Look at that. He's just flashing some random gold like it's not a big deal.
No, I did. So I started niching Western wear, like country, like Brit and Brittle or Bit and Brittle and Eli Cattleman and all those kind of Western things. But it's, I get a few every week. I can't get, 20 a day. So I have to do that along with like, I'm big in Florida, so we get a ton of Tommy Bahama and Hawaiian stuff. So I buy that stuff. So I try to add, all different models of product on, and then that's on top of going to my pawn shops and buying my little electronics and little video games and, selling some of those. So you have to multiple streams of products, multiple streams always.
Okay. So clearly, Luke, let's ask you this one real question. How are you dealing with the raising prices in the thrift stores? Because it sounds like, the prices are going up because the demand is up. Like you see a lot more people in thrift stores now that are not looking to resell the items, right? They're looking to consume and just not pay full price. So how are you dealing with these prices going higher?
So fortunately, I'm in a bubble. So they don't raise the prices here. Salvation Army is the only place they mark it up. We have like 18 or 20 Goodwill stores with me. They're all flatly priced. Like every dress shirt I look at is $4. Every jeans I wear is $5. So it's very unique. And that's why when you ask that question, I think it is very challenging in most demographics. I think for living in Charlotte, I don't think it's extremely challenging. If you can sell blazers and suits because you get them for $5 and $10, I think that you could definitely scale using that because they're higher margin. But yeah, if you were in an area, like I used to live in upstate New York, so I'll answer from there. I pretty much only could source on half off days when I lived there. Like that was it. You had to pick sale days. You had to use coupons. I mean, you had to ask store managers to bundle things. It was very, very difficult where I was up there. So I can relate to what you guys are talking about. I'm just fortunate I don't deal with it here.
Okay. We're going to blast through this one little section real quick. I'm going to stick with Luke real quick, and I'm going to ask you three questions. You got to rapid fire them back to the audience. You ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Oh man, that sound bit was good, man. So, Luke, how do you research products at garage sales? Quick answer. Look, come on. What do you got?
My phone. My phone.
With your phone. Okay.
Yeah.
How do you make quick, smart buying decisions? Like what? You whip out your phone. You're like, okay,
Pass-
like what's going on through your head real quick?
Well, usually I just pass if there's any doubt, and I use my phone if I think it's got a big upside. Try to look up as little as possible for the sake of time.
Tips. A couple tips on getting your hands on more profitable items at garage sales.
Hit more garage sales.
Okay, that's a good one. All right.
Volume.
Yeah. All right. Hit more garage sales.
Multiple tips, or is this one tip?
Oh, okay, we'll just say it's one tip. So one tip for success at garage sales. You already said the one tip. One tip every reseller should avoid when going to garage sales.
I don't know. I don't go to garage sales. You're killing me, putting me on the spot here.
Give it to Rockstar. Pass it off.
Yeah, I'll pass it to Ricky.
Tag teaming.
Right.
Okay, so I'm gonna call Luke out on his cop out, but he doesn't go to garage sales, so he's allowed. I look things up right in front of people, and if they tell me to leave, I leave. If you don't want me there, I'm not going to be there. I look up everything. Like Luke looks up as little as possible. Again, he's on a time crunch. I look up everything because there's been so many times that I'm like, wow, what's an Eli Cattleman shirt? Looks like garbage to me. And then I look it up and I'm like, psych, just kidding. And so I look up
I'll give you a quarter.
Yeah, pretty much.
Climbs back in his car with like gull doors and he like takes off.
the
shirt.
number one thing that I promise you every person in this chat that goes to garage sales does that they've got to get out of the habit of doing, and I still do it to this day, and everyone can, Chris is going to jump on this. You drive up to a garage sale, you see like one table with like 3 items on it, and you're like, man, what crap, and you drive off. You don't even stop and look because of the time. But to get out of the car, to walk up, to check is 30 seconds. Literally 30 seconds. And I know people, again, preaching the time crunch, but I look at every garage sale. If I took the time to drive to it, I'm going to look. And I have found items at garage sales where I was like doing the pull away thing. And I'm like, skirt. All right, I'll look. I jump up. I'm like, wow, I'll take it. So that's my tip.
There's an Eli Cattleman shirt in this toaster oven. I knew it.
Right. I mean, if you can obviously see they have a couch and an end table for sale, feel free to drive off. But if you see a table and you don't know what's on it, like people get nervous at garage sales. I don't know why. Like I've been with people that are like, oh, don't stop, keep going. I'm like, what are you kidding me? Like you're here to shop. They're here for you to shop. Just go.
Yeah, I hear you. Poll the audience real quick. We got about like 5 more minutes on this show, so hit the like button, please. We're gonna give away an awesome shoe guide to one lucky person once we clear 200, which is like 2 people away.
I think we're giving away 2, man. If we hit 200.
Okay, we're gonna give out 2, man.
No, 2.
I want to ask to feed this question, and I'm gonna proceed along to something else. But the question is, what is an item that you see all the time at garage sales? It's not valuable. You just see it all the time, and I'm gonna say this. Coffee makers, man. Those things are at every freaking garage sale. Coffee maker is pretty much worthless, but like I see them everywhere I go. I cannot believe how many people just take their coffee maker and put it in a garage sale. Like it blows my mind. Like almost every garage sale coffee maker. So let me know in the feed what the most common garage sale item that you see out there is. So let's talk about scaling your business and making more sales. We're gonna go to some more rapid fire, starting with Casey. What's the biggest thing people can do to increase their sales to get to about 100K?
Organization and scheduling. I just talked about this with somebody earlier. Make out a list of things to do each and every day. When you break down that goal, I believe it's what 100,000 is $275 a day in sales. Break down a daily and a weekly schedule of what it'll take to get you to those numbers, and start the list at the top with most important all the way down, and make sure you work through that list every single day. If it wasn't for my list, I would be a walking zombie dead person, like wandering around looking for something to do. That's my number one thing. People that are constantly looking around for where do I put that shirt? Where do I store this? What do I do next? Sitting on the couch watching TV saying, oh, I know I got something to do, but I don't know what to do. You will never get there. You'll fail. You will absolutely fail if you don't have an organized, scheduled life. I'm not saying you got to be like a zombie, but you better have a sense of what you got to accomplish each day.
Okay, cool. Some interesting stuff coming through the comment feed right here. George Foreman stuff, always at every garage sale. Here's a really funny one that I thought maybe LOL. I don't know who put it here, but Diego says faded glory. That's pretty funny. If you don't know, you know you're a reseller when you laugh at faded glory. You just know it. Like anyway, so Luke, do people need to focus on increased sales or increased margins? Like, what's the real difference here? You're muted. Rookie, man.
Rookie
mistake.
Increased margins. I think increased margins is so overlooked because everyone gets caught up in wanting to post their sales. They want to post my 90-day, my 60-day, what I hit for the month. And I think people get so lost in the fact that you're trying to make money. You're not just trying to make sales. So it's find a margin you're comfortable with and then find a way to scale that margin. Don't find a sale number you want to scale to. Find a margin you want to scale with. So
well, that's pretty interesting.
That's kind of how I view it.
So if you find a margin that you want to get to, then you become more picky on the things that you're picking up, right?
And you get more creative and you kind of challenge yourself to find those items. I feel like if you don't push yourself to meet a margin, you don't push yourself to find other items. So
okay. Last question of the night. We're going to kind of end at this one, a little kind of short from ending the entire show. But Casey, your view on sales, adjusting prices, promoting listings with eBay. Shed some light on that.
Yeah. So, and that's really important right now during the slowdown. So the only way you're going to conquer the slowdown or getting up in sales and getting more exposure is two things. Either you're going to pay to promote the listings to get higher, which a lot of people are doing, and they've expanded the category. So if you haven't checked that out, make sure you do check that out. You should have got a message about it. Promoting to get you higher, or you've got to make sure that you're competitive with the pricing, and you've got to recheck your prices. You may price an item at $40 today, and it may be worth $30 next week, and you forget to check. And so there's 300 Cattleman shirts higher than yours in the search results. So you can't sell something if no one's seeing it. Like, that's just sales 101. You have to get the product in front of the customer.
Okay. And then Luke, how important is it to run sales with your eBay store, adjust prices, or promote listings?
So promoted listings to me is huge right now because my bulk buy. So I've been using that and campaigning for all my LL Bean pants. It's been working really well. I think running sales is really effective just because it creates urgency with the buyer running it every day or 2 or 3 days. But I'm kind of on the other side of the coin where I don't think that you necessarily have to lower your prices to be super competitive all the time. It depends on your model. That's why I always talk a lot about model. Is my model, I'd rather stockpile valuable inventory that the price is I'm going to get it 3 months from now, but I'm going to sell all of it than take the time to list it, sacrifice the margin now just to keep the ball rolling, and then really devalue my time. So it's a balance. I think you have to do both. Like Casey's talking about, you've got to balance both to get through the tough times. But,
I like that.
I think that commanding the price that you want, you're comfortable with, be confident that you made the right buy and that you know what the value of the item is. Okay,
cool. So you've heard it from two very prominent YouTubers right here in the reselling niche. And we're just talking about, how you can make $100,000 or more on eBay a year. And we hope you enjoyed the show. Now off to some fun stuff. Before we get to the fun stuff, first of all, you can find Luke with Endless Entrepreneurs on YouTube. Go check him out, show him some love, and also show Rockstar some love at the Rockstar Flipper, right? That's
Rockstar Flipper, Endless Entrepreneur, 415 people watching.
Whew.
Yeah,
so this is it. Let's get into the fun stuff right now. People are waiting because they want to win some free books. So if you guys heard earlier, I made an announcement. If we hit 200 likes, we're going to be giving away 2 copies of my new book that has been created, released today with Tino, the Soul Advisor. So Tino, he sold over $300,000 worth of shoes in the last 2 years. He helped make a majority of the content. So it's really, really good stuff. We're going to be giving away 2 copies. And this is what we're going to do. Everybody in the comments right now, okay? I think this is what we should do. We should have everybody write in the comments, Rockstar Flipper and Endless Entrepreneurs. Rockstar Flipper and Endless Entrepreneurs. And I'm going to have Rockstar pick out a random one, just screenshot it, right? Yeah, and I think Luke should just pick out a random one as well. And people are going to say, oh, you're going to pick out your favorites. Guys, it's moving too quick.
And I'm going to close my eyes when I press it, so you guys will know.
So what I usually do is you're going to see so many flying through. What I would do is just screenshot it and just pick somebody just like that.
I'm closing my eyes. I'm going to count to 3, screenshot it, and then whoever's at the top of it when I do that.
But let's wait. Let's give everybody.
Wow, man, this thing is taking off, dude.
YouTube is about to smash.
Goodbye.
So we're going to screenshot it. Whoever the winner is, what you're going to have to do is send us an email at killershoebrands@gmail.com. That's killershoebrands@gmail.com. If you are the winner, screenshot your back end of your YouTube so we know it's you. And we'll give you guys a 100% coupon code to get the book. And there's going to be 2 winners. So killershoebrands@gmail.com. Send us proof. And let's Chris, what do you see going on right now in the comments section? For someone out there who maybe doesn't have good eyesight or
looks like the bins, man. It's going so fast. I mean, this is like the bins of the chat right now.
All right, I got my screenshot. I got my screenshot.
All right, Luke, do yours too whenever you want to. And pick the closest to the middle person that you see, okay? The middle person. First
Okay,
thing that comes up.
I gotta open my. Here it is.
Hold on.
Man, I got a classic Chris the Bonafide Hustler screenshot in this, by the way.
Whew.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
He's kicked back, relaxing, not doing much.
Double
Wow.
bicep pros. Yeah. Okay, that's me.
Okay. Okay, I've got a winner.
Go for it. Who is it?
Harley Gaddis. I know Harley. I've seen Harley before. What's going on, Harley?
This is rigged. Okay.
What?
Luke.
That's not rigged.
Scam.
I got the screenshot.
Nope. It was Illustrator.
I got screenshots. He's right in the middle.
Let's see it.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me. Hold on. I'm gonna put the screen on you.
Okay, I'm gonna talk. Here it is, right there.
We see it. Oh,
Harley, there he is. That's my
got it.
screenshot.
So Harley,
Okay.
Harley, send me a email with the back end of your YouTube screenshot so I know it's you at killershoebrands@gmail.com.
Luke, who did you pick?
I have Vincent Delara.
Woo! Vincent is the winner in the house. 101
Do
killer.
you know this person, Luke, or no?
No idea.
All right. So you're doing an honest thing this time, as opposed to Casey over here.
This time?
This thing is super
I
rigged.
don't do honest things?
Wait, I don't know Harley, but I've seen his name.
I'm
I
just
don't know
kidding,
him.
man.
So there we go,
Oh,
guys. Vincent and Harley, send me a email, killershoebrands@gmail.com. For anyone else who wants to check out the guide, RaikenProfit.com/shoes.
Harley,
Check
make
that
sure,
out.
make sure you send it to me. I need a copy. I'm just kidding.
I didn't send you a copy, man.
I think you.
All right, we gotta talk behind the scenes. But anyways, guys, appreciate
All right.
everybody watching. We had over 400 people watching live. Again, subscribe to the Bonafide Hustler, Rockstar Flipper, Endless Entrepreneurs, and they all got their own unique, cool stories and business models and lifestyles. And yeah, I want to thank you guys all for watching. And I appreciate you all. Luke, excited to meet you in Austin. Rockstar, wish we could have connected in Florida, man, but it is what it is, man.
Steve was over on the East Coast in the bad side. He was looking into his bona fide roots, trying to get close to the surfing. Yeah, you guys could make a trip out to Vegas. I heard there's a show going on.
We were out there.
Yeah, we were out there.
I
Where
know,
were you?
but there's never you guys. These are the first two guys I've ever heard be like Vegas. Pff, too much Vegas.
We had a lot of fun. It was awesome.
Hey, man, what happens in Vegas, you know the rest. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. If you didn't already, smash the like button, subscribe to these guys. And Chris, you want to close it out, man? What do you got to say?
Yeah, so that's pretty much it, guys. If we are going to be a little thin on the responses in the next coming weeks, the reason is we're doing a lot of prep for the meetup and everything like that, so it's going to get kind of crazy. So if you're messaging Raiken behind the scenes or me behind the scenes, it's going to take a little bit more time to get back to you guys. But that being said, next week, expect a lot of vlog coverage from the meetup. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's our 4th annual, so hope to see any one of you guys out there and gals. There's a lot of free public events as well, and they're too, like, you got to be a member of the green room kind of thing. But lots of free public stuff is going down in Austin, Texas next week, starting Tuesday. And Luke will be there, right?
Yeah,
Luke
looking forward to it. I can't wait.
Casey wanted to be there. He's going to be there in spirit.
We're gonna have an iPad in the corner with him on it.
Yes, I want to. No, I will. I'll do it from the hotel room because I'm going to be in another city as well. So
Yeah,
I have a hunch there might be a little bit of footage this week.
it's going to be awesome.
Just a little bit of cameras rolling.
There's gonna be a lot of cameras rolling. Plenty of opportunities to sign dragster photos.
yes,
So it's gonna be really cool. But that's basically what's going on next week. So big thing for us down the line. Stay tuned for all the vlogs and it's cool stuff. But that's pretty much it. I'll toss it over to Raiken. Raiken close the show out. Close the show out. It's good to see you guys. A really powerful panel today, Raiken.
Yeah, definitely.
I like it a lot, man.
Just excited for the future. And, if anyone has any questions about, any niches, just feel free to send me a message. And, I'll tell you anything you want to know about any niche out there. But if you have any niche questions, then I'm going to send you back something autographed that you're not going to like. So, anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Check these guys out. See you next week. And, yeah, peace out. Thanks for watching. Bye.